Yeah, as long as you're inspired. Because for me at least, if I don't have any inspiration at the moment and I just try and force something, it'll make me more mad.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of Subversion, where I'm going to deconstruct the life and creative inclinations of the guests that you come to hear from on this show. I hope you liked that interview this week. That was a bonus episode with Gret Glyer. I had a lot of fun sitting down and talking to him. He's a really cool guy, full of interesting stories. So yeah, I think it helps to get a sort of just like in this show, get a sense of where people are coming from and what informs the things that they do in their life. And I hope you realize that there's a bigger goal to this whole show other than just bringing you really awesome musicians and what they do. I hope that you can draw common themes on the things that these people are talking about into your own life. But anyway, I've got a charity project for you this week. This one is out of Uganda, and folks, this is kind of a sad story. Uganda is really stricken with AIDS, and I'm not sure if people have a sense of just how bad it is. Let me give you some stats from 2015 here. 1.5 million people are living with HIV in Uganda. That's 7.1% adult HIV prevalence, 83,000 new HIV infections that year, and 28,000 AIDS-related deaths that year, with 57% adults on antiretroviral treatments. And in the wake of that, it has left several thousands of orphans. I mean, just crazy amounts of orphan children. So Light for Orphans Ministry is trying to get shoes and school supplies for this upcoming semester for 50 children. And they're setting the goal at $1,000. So, you know, it's really not all that much to supply 50 children the things that they need. And if you listen to that interview with Gret, he certainly agrees with me that I mean, it's hard to deny it, I guess, that $5 or $10, I mean, it goes a really long way outside of the U.S. in these developing countries. So yeah, I really would appreciate it if you guys could help me fund this project. It goes towards a really good cause to a very destitute area in the world. Let's hop into it, though, and get into this interview with my guest today. I'll let him introduce himself, but I will see you at the end of the interview here, and thank you very much for listening. Please share this show. Again, we're trying to get to 1,000 weekly listeners by this time next year.
Yeah, I'm Ty Davis. I'm affiliated with Nice Guy Entertainment. I'm also part of a duo called Bottle Kids with my brother AP Lifted. And right now I'm working on Arteries. It's in the final mixing and mastering stages. And then once that's wrapped up, I'm doing a new Bottle Kids project with AP.
So Arteries is your new EP, or?
That's a solo project that I'm working on. It's been in the works for like 3 years.
Oh, okay. So it's a long time coming.
So, yeah.
Right on.
It's been getting changed a bunch, but we're almost done now.
Right on.
I'm always working on multiple things.
Yeah, I was kind of getting lost
I'm
there a little bit.
I'm doing the production for that right now, and then we're just going to start recording vocals as we go.
Ah, okay. Right on.
So I'm doing all the production for the Bottle Kids project myself.
Okay. Sweet. So, and just going back to the beginning with you, you grew up around in the Twin Cities area, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So kind of an inner city kid, or what's your background there?
Yep. Suburbs from Maple Grove area. Went to high school in Maple Grove. Okay. I played hockey there.
So that was like your hobby kind of growing up as a kid, like played a lot of hockey and
absolutely pond hockey. I was a goalie, and
you have the stature for a goalie, I suppose.
Big guy.
Yeah.
No, but So when the puck's in the offensive zone, you get some free time as a goalie
Okay.
because you're not doing shit
Sure.
when it's down there.
Yeah.
So I'd be freestyling, rapping.
Oh, nice.
Just helped solidify my passion.
Okay. So
Is
your love for rap and hip hop kind of goes back to even when you were a kid then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Absolutely. Or I'd be like singing songs, like my favorite songs, and then start freestyling my own shit to it, get creative.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know.
I used to play goalie a lot when I was in soccer as a kid too, because I was kind of a big kid. I couldn't
Yeah.
run, and that's like half
No,
of what soccer is
I
if you're an
could skate
infielder.
up too. I could play forward too. I just like goalie.
Yeah,
And like the team needed someone to try it once, so I did it, liked it, and then just stuck with it forever.
yeah. Hey, if you're good at it, man.
I was very good.
Yeah.
I
So,
was killing shit.
do you still play hockey? Because I know there are like men's leagues around that you can do if you got the
I've
time.
dabbled every now and then, but I have no time for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd love to play more hockey, but I just do not have time.
Man, I did jujitsu for a little while because I used to do martial arts when I was a kid, and I saw this jujitsu place right down the street from my house. So I decided one day I was going to go in and I was going to start doing jujitsu again. I did it for like 3 months, and then I started to get really deep into this. And it was
Yeah.
just like, man, I only got so much time. I only have so many hours in the day. Like I could do it if I really wanted to, but it's just there's just so much stuff going on. Like, where's the time for me to even relax if I did that,
Right.
4 days a week too?
I actually dabbled in MMA too. I took a class
yeah?
for like half a year with one of my buddies
Okay.
that went to the army.
Yeah. It's
So,
fun. I don't know. Someday I'll probably get back into it, but I just decided to put it off for now for me.
It's
But
therapeutic too, like
Yeah.
getting to let out some anger.
yeah, and I don't know. It's just it's more than just an exercise. It's like something for your mind too. It's like chess. You have to like think 3 steps ahead. But
Absolutely.
I got something out of it. I think in terms of like self defense. If I ever got into a clinch when I'm like in a fight, sometime defending myself, then
Yeah,
I'll
especially
be
like
better off.
I learned judo throws and shit. So
Yeah.
if a big dude was trying to get at me, I'd be like, hey,
Yeah, that
toss.
takedowns are like the most important thing you can do. They say 80% of fights go to the ground. Mm-hmm. So if you're the one throwing the person on the ground, you have advantage. So
or if you
that's
know
like
if you know jujitsu, you can be on your back and still
right.
you're
You can
good.
get out of their guard and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'll tell you the thing that really made me decide, besides just the time constraints, was this dude I was wrestling with. He was a really heavy wrestler, and he just messed up my back so bad, and I took like 2 weeks off, and I still wasn't feeling like there was still something up with my back, and I kept going to the chiropractor and everything. And I was just like, oh man, I don't got time, and I don't want to mess up my body.
Yeah, I can't be doing that.
Because it's a small school, so it's not like I can avoid wrestling with the guy. I saw him like every other day. So I don't know. That's probably more the culture of the place that you go to. But MMA sort of attracts these kind of certain personality types that are
Yeah.
that are kind of
The
I don't know,
place
you
that
can
I
get
went
really
to had all types of people though.
yeah. Yeah, it does attract all kinds of people, but it's weird with the MMA crews. It's like, I don't know. It's like they were either bullied as kids, so they have something to prove,
No, I feel what you're saying.
or they're just like really chill people. I don't know. There seems to be like no normal people that can actually go and do MMA. Is kind of what I'm
Unless
saying.
they're like looking for a new type of exercise or something.
Yeah. I guess there's a couple of those folks there, but
I get what you're saying.
yeah.
I feel it.
So yeah, you liked playing hockey. Ended up getting into rap music, right? And
Yeah.
So as far as music goes, growing up, before we get to the hip hop stuff, what kind of music did you listen to growing up? What sort of drove you into getting into hip hop?
Lots of mostly like rock, heavy metal shit when I was younger. Mm-hmm. My favorite band is like System of a Down, Slipknot.
Legit.
I love System of a Down.
Yeah,
so
me too.
much.
I'll still jam some System of a Down out.
They're putting out a new album this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. I feel like I
First
should
one
know that.
since like 05.
Half my job here is knowing music, and I didn't even know.
Dude, I'm
One
so
of my favorite
excited.
bands is coming out with a new album.
So pumped. But yeah, and then as far as rappers, I like started out listening to like Kanye, 50 Cent, Lil Wayne back in the day, the old Carters.
Yeah, and you're a little younger than me, so
Yeah.
you're kind of
I have
dating
more
me right here with that.
modern influences too. Well, like I like the old like Dre, Snoop Dogg, all them.
Oh, for sure.
But I definitely have a lot of younger influences too, just because of when I came up.
Yeah, and I grew up. Probably the first rap I heard, Nelly was really big when I was a kid, and that was like the cool thing to listen to. You know, when I was in like middle school and stuff.
Nelly's dope too.
Yeah. I haven't listened to it since I was a kid, but I'm sure there's something there to enjoy.
He was an athlete too. He played like
Really?
Yeah, he played a bunch of sports.
Huh. I didn't know that.
I think he had like offers to go either D1 or go pro in either football or baseball. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but I swear I've heard that.
I'll look it up and
Yeah, fact check me.
yeah, and then in the editing, I'll just throw in here if you were wrong.
Yeah,
No.
call me out.
I'm just fucking around, but
Please
yeah,
do.
and then after that, it was just kind of like radio rap, you know, that I was used to, and then I heard Eminem, and that was kind of a big deal for me because I kind of thought, I don't know, I always thought that rap was like a racial thing, like I couldn't. Like there wasn't like white rappers. Like I was legit,
he was like
and I didn't know who the Beastie Boys were.
Yeah.
That's not my generation, so I had no clue. You know, so I was like kind of perplexed by Eminem. And then when I actually listened to it, he's talking about struggles of being in poverty and having just a fucked up family and things like that, which
Right.
was something that I could relate to. Whereas, I feel like as enjoyable as some radio rap is to listen to, it's hard to relate to some of the stuff that they're rapping
exactly.
about, especially when you're a young kid. I don't know what Nelly was even saying in half of his songs.
That's kind of how it was for me when I discovered Mac Miller. Because
Okay.
there's a bunch of like music I couldn't relate to as closely,
Yeah.
but like then Mac was in high school the same time as me. He's rapping about like skipping school, eating food, getting high. Like that shit I can relate to. I'm like maybe I can take this rap shit more seriously.
Yeah. So you're
'Cause
saying Mac Miller, that's what was coming up when you were in high school, you're saying, or what?
Yeah, I discovered him in high school, like the Kids mixtape, and he was
Okay.
in high school for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just super relatable.
Yeah.
And that was something that made it like you don't have to rap about guns and gang
Yeah.
shit all the time.
Right.
So it opened my eyes to that.
Yeah, for sure. But so yeah, I guess I guess I'm kind of curious what what do you listen to now, I suppose, as far as
Everything.
Yeah.
I love Travis Scott, Migos, Gucci, The Weeknd.
I don't
That's
think I
the-
recognize any of that besides Gucci. You mean Gucci Mane?
Yeah, Gucci Mane. Goo Wop.
I can't even say Gucci Man. It makes me feel like I'm like a square. I gotta say Mang.
Well, that's how it's spelled. Mane.
Oh yeah,
Gucci Mane.
I guess I've never seen it spelled out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So yeah,
I like the new wave of rappers too, like Yachty, Uzi, Kodak.
you're speaking like Chinese.
Look
man.
them up. lots of older people don't like them very much
Yeah.
because they're kind of changing the culture. They're starting a new wave. It's not as much lyrical shit.
Okay. Sure. And that's one thing I like about doing this show is I talk to people who are kind of, in tune with what new music is out there right now. And
Yeah.
I'm really bad about that, unless I hear it from a friend or on the radio, which I never listen to.
I feel you.
Then I'm not going to hear it. But it's nice. I was just doing an interview this past weekend, and a guy just named off all these progressive rock bands that I had no idea about before. And
Yeah, I don't know very many new bands. Like,
Yeah.
as far as rock goes, if I listened to them when I was younger, I'll still follow them. But
yeah.
I don't really discover many new rock bands anymore. It's mostly
Yeah.
just rappers if I find new people.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just kind of, I don't know. because I follow a bunch of hip hop blogs, so that's just what I'll see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I'm kind of curious what got you actually into it as a kid. Like, were other classmates listening to the same kind of music? Because for me, it was like country music was kind of popular after. So when I was in middle school, it was rap. That was the thing that all the cool kids listened to, right?
Yeah.
And then we got into high school and no one listened to rap, and it was like this fringe thing that that I felt like only me and my friends were listening to. So I don't know. I was just kind of curious what the culture was with you when you were younger then.
I don't know necessarily if like all my friends listen to rap. Well, I guess, yeah, like old school rap and shit. Because a lot of it would be like introduced by our parents, I guess, what we listened to, or older siblings. But
right.
Yeah, I don't know when I really got into listening to hip hop. It just I don't remember. It just kind of happened. But yeah, I never.
It's just been so much.
I never really liked country. I can say that safely.
Yeah. Right.
It's not my thing.
For sure.
There's a couple artists that I like.
Like old school stuff, or?
Yeah, like Johnny Cash, dope.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to not like Johnny Cash.
Right. But I like some of Eric Church's stuff, some Jason Aldean.
Okay.
Not very much, but
right.
I dabble.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell from your music.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of curious to get into your music here.
Yeah.
Some of the songs you had. I'll start with this one, 2005. Now, I remember listening to this, and basically your theme is a time when things are simpler, and you're singing about summer, which to me was sort of hits close to home because when I was growing up, that, you know, like riding my bike around in the summertime and going fishing was like the thing that I did. Me and my friend lived like a block away from the lake. I lived on this lake town, and we would, go fishing like every single day, right? And so I don't know, just the general vibe of that song reminded me of when I was a kid, and it was just a simple time when, just chilling, not doing much of anything, and no responsibilities.
Super nostalgic song.
Yeah.
It's also about the perspective of not realizing how good you have life in the moment, and then reflecting back on that moment and saying, damn, I had it really good.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't complain so much. I should enjoy the time that I have here, be positive about what I got going for me.
Sure. And how old were you in 2005 then?
I was 10.
Okay.
I just kind of picked a random age where I thought like I was old enough to do fun shit and have friends,
right?
You know, play throughout the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But yet young enough to still not be paying bills and not be struggling with too much. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. That's when I was so alive. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. That's when I was so alive. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. That's when I was... Couldn't even drive, so I had to walk to Target to pick up some art supplies. I was living life before I could get high, when I could look at the sky without wondering what happens when we die. Eating burgers and fries without getting fat. Wanted to be free from my parents, how fucked up is that? Now I just wanna rap, not worry. Before LeBron and Stephen Curry, my vision was getting blurry from the snow flurries on the way home from the bus. Homework was a must, I couldn't even fuss. I would eat my sandwiches and throw away the crust. Looking back at the memories in a cloud of my dust, I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. That's when I was so alive. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. playing kick the can with the neighborhood homies. Now I see them in the head down like they don't know me. I miss mini raviolis and spaghettios. I miss playing goalie, man, it was incredible. I miss not paying bills. I miss biking down them really big hills. Now my whole life is a roller coaster. Biggest worry used to be, where's the second controller for the PS2? Ripping NHL and Crash Bandicoot. But every flame burns out like the candles do. Nostalgia making me sick, I need a can of soup. Need to watch Franklin and Friends on Channel 2. I need some Lucky Charm cereal. I need a miracle. Now it's time for the hook again. Well, okay, here we go. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. Cause that's when I was so alive. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. Cause that's when I was so alive. Yeah, I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. Cause that's when I was so alive. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. In the summer. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. Cause that's when I was so alive. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. Cause that's when I was so alive. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. Cause that's when I was so alive. I wish it was 2005 in the summertime. Cause that's when I was so alive. Not even afraid to die.
Yeah, man. And it's like, I don't know. It's hard to live in the moment, right? To sort of appreciate where you're at right now, because we always, and it's the nature of being a human. I think you're always striving for something better.
Yeah, you want it to be better.
Right. Yeah, and so it's like this.
So you don't appreciate what you do have.
Correct. So it's good to have these reminders in music and art and things like that. That just to take a minute and just take a deep breath, even just like 5 minutes of just sitting down and thinking, wow, it's pretty nice that I get to just breathe. That just
absolutely.
I'm gonna go get something to eat. It's gonna be great. There are so many ways that you can feel good about your situation and not fret about how better things could be. And
it's not that chill. Fucking serious.
Yeah.
It's all gonna be okay.
Yep. So I think it's good to have those reminders. And just to go back to you growing up, you said you grew up in Maple Grove, right?
Yeah.
So I would imagine that the town was sort of like my hometown growing up. I would imagine that in my town it was like more of a suburb feel where your parents probably aren't too worried about you. You are sort of a free range kid, right? You're just out kind of playing with other kids in the neighborhood.
It kind of changed a lot when I was growing up. Like when we first moved there, it was a lot of farmland and shit, and it really blew up like as I've lived there. And now it's a really big suburb.
Yeah, I was gonna say Maple Grove seems kind of like suburbia, right? It's like
it is
like
now,
like a lot of development, homes and stuff.
There's a bunch of shit now. Like any store or restaurant you could think of, like the whole strip mall, everything.
Yeah. As much as I like suburbs because they're close to the city and you're not too far from the action and it's not as expensive to live in the suburbs. But there's like something weird about like the cookie cutter houses and like no trees,
Right.
Like I've worked in a lot of neighborhoods like that, and
it's not like that in my neighborhood though.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
but I get what you're saying though.
I like where I'm at right now too. I'm in Prior Lake, and there's diverse houses and things like that. I just like to be able to have like color. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have a lunch that's like all one color or something, just makes it kind of bland.
No,
same with the variety in your neighborhood, right?
I've seen a bunch of developments like that in Maple Grove though, and it's just it looks weird. Looks like a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah,
like a weird little town.
Yeah, or it always reminds me of. You ever seen Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah,
it reminds me of that, where it's just like the only thing that's different about the houses is some like the colors different painted on outside of the house, but and everyone's just got these weird quirks about them. Suburbia is just kind of a weird thing. But,
Indeed. I feel you.
But then another one you had here was Cold, right?
Yeah.
So I don't remember much about this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there
So
wasn't much of a story to this one. I just kind of threw it together one night.
It was just kind of a fun one to do.
Yeah, it was just kind of about being from Minnesota and being cold as shit. I'm just cold. I'm dope.
Aptly named.
Just, bragging. My boy Darnell hopped on it, had a verse about a bunch of Pokemon references that I didn't even get. I didn't understand, half the shit he said at first, and he sat me down and explained it, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you know about Pokemon...
I don't even remember that. I think I'm going to have to listen through it. Well, I'll obviously listen through it too.
He has a bunch of references, super dope. He blew my mind when he explained it.
For sure.
But yeah. So yeah, that one's just a fun one.
Yeah. And that's fine. I actually just sat down with Ben Kath, who's with Nice Guy.
Yeah.
And we got into a long discussion about how, music doesn't always have to be about something deep.
Right.
That has a meaning. Sometimes it's just, how you're feeling and just outpouring some kind of emotion or vibe.
Yeah, that's something I agree with as well. Because it's a tool for deep concepts, but it can also be just, you can have fun with it. There's no rules to the shit.
They say I'm cold. I say no, that's where I'm from. If you didn't know, I'm putting on cause I'm young. It's getting old. Why you acting so dumb? If you didn't know, this is what I have become. They say I'm cold. I say no, that's where I'm from. If you didn't know, I'm putting on cause I'm young. It's getting old. Why you acting so dumb? If you didn't know, this is what I have become. Everybody wants some of what's hidden under the mattress. I'm the oracle, I can see it before it happens. Sitting in traffic laughing, thinking about the people talking big but never taking action. Might have to put this beat up in a casket, ducking and weaving the hoes like I'm Cassius, yeah. R.I.P. I see that you're fake when I'm wearing fake glasses. I don't trust none of y'all asses. You switching sides the fastest. Growing up I was the bad kid, cause I saw the world like it was. Early exposure to drugs made me question what everything was. Now I'm a maniac, there's no debating that. Insomniac, lumberjack, hacking and coughing often, like an asthma attack or a dental patient spitting black. Or LeBron hearing that he lost a crown and going to take it back. Might have to let that shit sink in. I'm over your head like a chemtrail. Now I got all of you thinking, and that's on point like a pin or nail. They say I'm cold. I say no, that's where I'm from. If you didn't know, I'm putting on cause I'm young. It's getting old. Why you acting so dumb? If you didn't know, this is what I have become. They say I'm cold. I say no, that's where I'm from. If you didn't know, I'm putting on cause I'm young. It's getting old. Why you acting so dumb? If you didn't know, this is what I have become.
I am on point like a ferrothorn. Fly as a loogie is aeroblast. Super effective to everything. I'm a ground type like a Marowak. Glogger if I am a hypocrite. I know that y'all gonna love this shit. I know that y'all gonna feel this shit. I'm about to go hard as a Steelix is. Mega evolve, Misty won't call. Dragonite stuck in the cage. 40 HP when I twist it, I'm gifted, I'm blessed. This is that dragon rage. This is no casket case. No Gary is never no spite. I sip on Sprite when I'm thirsty. None of your words can hurt me. Herbie, Percy, Jackson, damn I'm enlightening. This shit is frightening, I didn't have to. This shit is tight, man, I didn't ask you. I barely asked me, I wouldn't fight you. Look in the mirror and pray every day. I look at myself and that's how I'm doing. And I just reply to me that I am great. Never investigate.
I say no, that's where I'm from. If you didn't know, I'm putting on cause I'm young. It's getting old. Why you acting so dumb? If you didn't know, this is what I have become. They say I'm cold. I say no, that's where I'm from. If you didn't know, I'm putting on cause I'm young. It's getting old. Why you acting so dumb? If you didn't know, this is what I have become.
Right, and it kind of goes back to celebrating the moment too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if
And
you have
the
songs,
feeling, the vibes.
yep, And if you have songs that are about like some sort of specific traumatic event for you, and or some sort of negative thing, it's just sort of like you pouring out this negative thing from your past instead of just enjoying the moment. So I think there is certainly something to be said about songs that intentionally are just about celebrating the moment, and I feel like that's kind of what this Ben guy's music was kind of all about.
Yeah, I try and keep a balance between both types of songs.
Yeah, I suppose when you're doing live music too, you certainly have to consider that.
Most of the stuff that I perform is like just hype party songs, or like about beating someone's ass, trying to start a mosh pit.
Right.
Like, it doesn't always have to be that deep.
Right, for sure.
And plus, like, a lot of the time at big shows when people are out getting drunk, they don't want to hear your life story necessarily. When you're performing, they just want to get hype.
Right.
Break shit. And go crazy.
Yeah. And I went to the Poorhouse to try and catch you guys one night. And yeah, that's definitely a crowd and a place that you want to just have hype songs where you're just getting the energy up. That's
our show when we opened for Puya that I told you about before. At that show we started a mosh pit and it was wild. That was super packed in there.
Yeah.
One kid even broke his knuckle in our mosh pit. Shit was wild.
Yeah, man, I used to go.
That's fun.
Yeah, it can be fun. I used to go to a lot of. Used to be really into hardcore, and my audience is gonna get pissed about me talking about this so much, but like, I don't know. I would just see some crazy stuff, man. Like, I don't know how familiar you are with hardcore music at all, but I mean, people just there's like a pit, but it's more just people like throwing kicks and punches, and they call it hardcore dancing, but it's really just like people thrashing around, and you get kicked in the face, you get a good like elbow to the nose, stuff like that.
That sounds real fun to me.
It's fun, and it's also dangerous,
Yeah,
and you feel bad too, like if you're the guy that accidentally backfists someone in the fucking head, like you don't feel good about knocking a guy out on accident, unless someone deserves it.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm not saying like I would ever like get retribution in the pit, but if you're in an environment where that's like the norm, people are gonna get knocked out on accident. You know? But then you have shows where there's like this weird East Coast hardcore thing where they would have guys like their roadies would come and like run from the back and like head stomp people. They'd be like stepping on people's heads, man, and yeah, that'll really mess you up.
That's
like,
crazy.
Like I've seen people get neck injuries from
I've
stuff
never
like
seen that happen before. That's kind
of venues put a kibosh on that kind of stuff pretty quick, because if people get hurt in their establishment, that's a pretty big liability. Have
you seen at like metal shows when they open up the middle and then everyone just runs at each? Yeah, the wall of death. That's what it's called.
I've seen it plenty of times, and I hardly ever participate because it just looks like a no-win situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. The chaos of a pit just sounds so much more safe to me.
Yeah.
Rather than just this orchestrated wall of two people meeting each other.
Yeah, it'd be fun if you were just super big. You just
a
linebacker just run.
I have to admit, guys our size, it's probably a lot more fun for us than our smaller friends. I've got a friend who's just like a little guy. He's got to be half my size, and he just loves getting into the pit. I never understand it because he just gets thrown around. They just ragdoll him.
Yeah,
but
as long as he's having fun getting thrown around.
Yeah, it's a good time, man. But yeah, then the last song you had for us was Vacation. And I remember you talking a little bit about this before.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like an introspective song, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you
this is one of the more...
Elaborate on that.
Yeah, this is one of the darker conceptual songs that we were just talking about.
Not when you play live, usually.
I have it, but it's not like... It's different shows, because like at a more intimate show, like at Honey or something, like a small show, you do songs like this and people can vibe with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of just depends on the show.
For sure.
But yeah, this song it's about taking a vacation, but I meant it as taking a permanent vacation, like as in talking about taking my life. That's just pretty much what the metaphor was throughout the whole song.
Sure. Right. And I think that's, it's sort of taboo in our culture, I guess most cultures, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's like the permanent solution to a temporary problem, right? But I feel like it's a theme that gets revisited by a lot of really bright and creative people, because why doesn't it sound like a pretty attractive a way to solve a problem, right? I mean,
logically it seems like.
Yeah, especially when you're young and you don't see perhaps the consequences of
Yeah,
something
or
like
if
that,
you're
right?
if you don't really care
Yeah.
like about what it's gonna do to other people, because
Right.
like that's
kind of
kinda
what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
is-
when you're in that mindset of like, fuck everything, I don't care about living anymore, like why would I care about what it's gonna do to my loved ones, you
Sure.
know? It's just a
Right.
spiral, keep going into more
Yep.
darkness.
Sure, and I know, I'm not sure. Do you still have sort of issues with depression or anything? If you don't mind me
Yeah,
asking.
I mean, it's always gonna be there.
Sure.
You just have to find ways to battle that,
Yeah.
ways to stay up, keep the positivity as
Sure.
much as you can.
Yeah, and I have to give it to people that hold it together under that, under those circumstances, because for me, I've had problems with, like, I don't know what you would call it, like acute depression, where I've had issues when I was younger with depression. I think you could chalk it up to just like a weird childhood and being a teenager going through puberty,
Yeah.
like I don't think that I have ever really had problems with chronic depression, but people that I do know, they're soldiers, man. Like if you can deal with your you're your biggest enemy if you have depression.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
kind of learning like just how to catch the thoughts when they start
Sure.
coming in. Like go to the gym, get some
Yeah.
endorphins flowing, dude.
Okay.
Like different ways. Go write a song, go for a walk, breathe.
Sure.
Like shit's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
It's all in your mind.
Yeah.
You gotta have good mind control.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good lesson, because that's the defense mechanism that you need to build, and it's really hard to do.
Yeah, because if you let those thoughts in, it's so easy to just go with it and just keep going deeper and deeper
Right.
into a dark state of mind. I think I need a vacation. I think I need a vacation. So sick of my medications. Look at the drugs that I'm taking. Chilling with all the Jamaicans. Only time I was at peace. Only time I smoke a sheesh. Only time I wanna be alive. Only time I didn't wanna die. Only time I didn't wanna cry. Only time I didn't have to hide. I could put my problems to the side, letting the earth take me to the sky. I never felt so alive. It really feels like I'm dreaming. No more running from my demons. No more stressing for no reason. No depression every season. No more thinking about her leaving. No more looking up to Jesus, begging him to come and save me. He ain't replied for 21 years. Future me would think I'm crazy. No more tears, right here's amazing. Police have been manipulating information in my situation. Put me into the grips of Satan. I can't afford my bills, so I'm stipulating. Starting over in a different nation. Leaning back with a little sedation. Not even thinking about the abuse that my body's been taking. I'll be patient, but I'm gonna need this paper, son. Fight for this dream till I'm 81. Then I'll do drugs off a lady's buns till I pass out, never wake up. Move on to my never-ending space of nirvana, pure euphoria, all in the name of my fucked up vacation. I think I need a vacation. I think I need a vacation. I'm so sick of my medications. Look at the drugs that I'm taking. I think I need a vacation. I think I need a vacation. I'm so sick of my medications. Look at the drugs that I'm taking.
Things are so different, they noticed I'm winning. Just like I told you I would from beginnings. I've been exceeding my limits. I told them business is business. Still somehow they get so fucking offended. Just cause I won't split the pot. Just cause I told you I'm eating a lot. Told you I'm never gonna stop. Hey, 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 hey. Cooking up like I'm the Rock. Hey, I like my jack on the rocks. Hey, moving, not thinking the plot. Hey, you slipping like wooden socks. Hey, I've been moving like a motherfucking AAA truck. Trying to get the money, but they never wanna pay up. Open the register, open the ATM, open the wallet and give me the cash. I'm feeling aggressive, I might beat some ass. So you best get to moving so fast. Promoters, you never gonna last. Trying to diminish the art, bitch, I'ma tear you apart. Look, fuck I look like, I got no heart. I'ma do it by myself with my team. Bitch, you ain't stopping these dreams. Bitch, you ain't making no waves in the scene. I'm over it. How much colder can Minnesota get? Set the bar high and they ain't close to it. Talking about depression, I'm the poster kid. The ashtray that doesn't have a roach to give. Smoking shit in hopes of postponing all this hopelessness. I really don't exist. I really never did. On instrumentals, the only time I'm with your bit. My soul left like coke and Mentos without a lid. Now I'm exploding like a bomb. Ain't no telling what the fuck I was on. I made the craziest songs. I hope that y'all sing along before I'm gone. I think I need a vacation. I think I need a vacation. I'm so sick of my medications. Look at the drugs that I'm taking. I think I need a vacation. I think I need a vacation. I'm so sick of my medications. Look at the drugs that I'm taking. I think I need a vacation. I think I need a vacation. I'm so sick of my medications. Look at the drugs that I'm taking. I think I need a vacation. I think I need a vacation. I'm so sick of my medications. Look at the drugs that I'm taking.
Yeah, and it's almost like a one step forward, two steps back if you let those thoughts take control when you could have taken control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you choosing to go to the gym brings you one step ahead.
Yeah.
But if the next time you have some sort of dark thought and it takes you over, then that's like two steps back and you didn't go to the gym. You know, you just sulked in it or something.
Because you could easily just like sit back, open a bottle of whiskey, order some shitty food, and that's way easier.
Right.
But
right.
it's not, it's counterproductive.
Yeah, and it sort of tricks your brain chemistry.
Like, don't get me wrong, I do it all the fucking time. It's easy to do.
Right. Yeah. But there's, I think you said something there that I see a lot with creatives is when you do have these thoughts, maybe pouring some energy into something creative is potentially the better thing to do.
Yeah, it's
or go to the gym, you know, like I said, but yeah, your creative endeavors can either be an outlet to enjoy the moment or to escape from the moment that you're in, right?
Yeah, as long as you're inspired and
Sure.
creatively.
Right.
Because for me at least, if I don't have any inspiration at the moment and I just try and force something, it'll make me more mad.
Ah, right.
I don't know. That's just how it is for me, kind of. So that's why I've been going to the gym too. Because I have to be inspired to be creating. I can't force shit.
Right.
That's just me.
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, I don't like have any material that I put out there, but I used to write poetry. I used to make music and stuff like that. So I understand that block, and there's nothing worse than when you really feel like you need to get something out, but it's like there's no structure to build off of. You know what I mean? You don't have any particular ideas, and maybe I could relate it to just being young when I was doing this and not even having anything really to write about. I mean,
not living enough yet. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe I did, and I just couldn't see it, or articulate it. But yeah, I mean, it's a really tough thing when you have that writer's block. Is there any way that you kind of get over that, or do you just kind of let your stuff sort of come to you spontaneously? You don't ever try to will it into existence?
Yeah, I do. I do sometimes, because I just feel like I always have to be working on something. Okay. So sometimes, but I won't force it though. Like if ideas aren't coming together when I'm in the studio, I'm not, because I have my own studio. I'm not paying for time. Like So I'm in there. I'm not gonna force something. I'll come back to it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure.
Because my studio is always open to me.
Right.
It's always has open arms.
Yeah.
coming near.
Right.
It's fine.
That's got to afford you some pretty great freedom, though.
Yeah,
know?
it's nice because then also, if I have an idea like production wise, like a melody or something, I can go across the hall, pump it out,
Yeah. Right.
save it, come back to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just talking about this with someone recently, but like if you have poetry that you want to write down and you have like just like one line or just a couple lines that rhyme really well,
Phone
phone
notes.
yeah, man, and you know when I was really writing a lot, it was before cell phones, or at least before I had gotten
Right.
one that was worth having. You know, I had flip phones probably all up until a couple of years ago when I got a real job that gave me a smartphone, you know, but anyway, it was like, I would always have to find like a scrap piece of paper before it was gone, because ideas, you know, when you're really feeling creative or you're really in whatever mood and they just come to you so quickly, and you just don't want to lose that, because you know you'll think about it later and be like, God damn, that was a really good idea. What was it? Like, I know it's like on the tip of my tongue.
That
I
still
didn't write it down.
happens to me a lot too, because I'll be like, if I'm freestyling or something and say like a really sick line, I'll be like, I don't need to write it down. I'll remember that later. And then I'll try to remember, like, fuck, I should have wrote it down.
Do you ever just do a voice memo to yourself on your phone?
No, I don't usually do that, but I do record voice memos if I hear like something I think would be cool to sample.
Okay.
Like if I hear cool sounds out in public, I'll take voice memos and sample it later.
Okay. Sure. I would imagine that it's a lot harder, you know, with if you got a beat in mind, for example, like the general idea for a beat.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't write that down, right?
No.
You know, so that aspect of having a studio is probably really, really liberating for you,
it's
because
super
you can
nice.
just go right to your computer and your sample boards and start making some shit up.
Yeah, that's what's super nice about it.
Yeah.
But my phone notes are so full, man. That's like half the memory on my phone is my notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have everything dating back like years,
Yep.
like verses I've wrote and stuff, poems.
Damn, you've got to have a lot of stuff on there if it fills up a phone.
Dude, so much.
So you probably got
And
a
I have
couple.
notebooks too, because I write on
Yeah.
real paper sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm sure I've said this on the show before, but I've still got a lot of that poetry that I was sort of stashing away on little scraps of paper just in this drawer in my desk at home.
Yeah,
I have
so
no
much
idea what to do with it.
Notebooks and papers everywhere. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then I look through it and I'm like some of them just don't make sense. They're completely out of context now. This is years later after I wrote it. I probably had some sort of grand vision with whatever was on that scrap of paper,
Right.
but it is so long gone.
Yeah, I
And it
just
makes
found
no
this one poem the other day from like I was in Jamaica last year and I got super sick and I was just puking in my bed for like 3 days of my vacation. And I was writing poetry and it was super good.
Just because you were sick and probably
Like
had a fever and shit.
I legit thought I might die because I was in a different country,
Oh,
like
yeah.
super sick, and like I was just by myself puking.
Damn.
It was awful. And then, but my poetry was super good.
So silver lining.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had a buddy that was down in South America and got really sick with some sort of stomach virus.
Yeah,
or
it's kind of sketchy because there's not really good health care, I wouldn't think. I didn't really investigate it.
Yeah, I guess I don't know anywhere that you're gonna be, like were you at a resort or something like that?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so you would think that they would have something.
Maybe.
You would think. I guess I'm just trying to be optimistic in case I ever take a vacation.
That's what I thought, though. Like, am I going to die?
Right.
I might die.
A valid concern if you're somewhere strange, you don't know shit about where you're at, you know? Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
don't know what
kinda-
you got in your body.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that sort of leads right into my last question here, which do you remember a time when you were a kid that you sort of realized your mortality?
Yeah. I don't know what it was. I don't remember. But but I would think about what happens when I die, and I would just, man, like nobody knows, and
Yeah.
there's no way to know.
Yeah.
And it was crazy to me. Like the thought that after life is just infinite, and whatever it is, it could be just never ending, and that's like hard to grasp. So I was just thinking about it, and as a kid, I'm like, holy shit, it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and I think you touched on on something that I don't know that I've ever really vocalized, but I guess even if you believe in an afterlife, or you're just an atheist who believes that you're in the ground and you're just, dead.
Yeah.
There's like a fear of infinity with it, right?
Yeah, it kind of just
Like
it's kinda,
the thought of infinity is sort of daunting.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm saying, because
it's either it's an eternity in darkness, or it's an eternity in hell, or in heaven, which is a hell unto itself, right?
yeah,
Like,
it's equally scary because if it's never ending, like you
Yeah.
can't grasp that.
yeah, I've always thought that, like, when I was a teenager and I was kind of coming to adulthood, and was thinking, like, do I really want to go to heaven though? Like,
Right.
because that sounds kind of torturous. Like,
Yeah,
that you,
I like to
you
sing.
never get a break. Like, do you sleep in heaven? Like,
Right.
do you ever get you ever get time to wind down? Like, but I suppose the common interpretation of what heaven is probably a little bit different than what the creators of the Bible came up with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The
Like,
only way I guess that it wouldn't be an infinite afterlife is if reincarnation was real.
sure, but then still you would think that your spirit would have to end somewhere, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So it would have to. There even in Eastern religions there is a sort of heaven.
right,
They just have a different way of getting there.
like the nirvana
Yeah.
concept.
So here's the difference between Eastern and Western religions: is Western religion is finite and linear, whereas Eastern religions are cyclical. So they believe that you have to go through multiple lives and learn all of these cosmic lessons before you can reach this point where
keep
you don't need your
improving
body.
your spirituality.
Yeah, and it's like Scientology is kind of like that. And to relate it to a really far out religion, they believe that. So I don't know if I've got all the terminology right here, but basically they believe that, like, a hydrogen bomb blew up in a volcano and blew all these demons out, and the demons like came and blocked humans spiritually, and they're called I think they call, like, the human spirit like a thetan, right? And you have to get all these like little demons off of you to become like a clear thetan.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of want to read some of their books now.
Dude, it's
'cause
interesting because it's like a self-help thing.
Yeah.
Like if there was anything that would be good about Scientology, it would have been like in its heyday when L. Ron Hubbard was actually running the thing, and what he was providing was like a sort of therapeutic service in a way, but it
Yeah.
became really dark because he had mental problems of his own, and this sort of narcissistic personality disorder that he had. He basically told people that they don't need help, but you're bound to get some like genuinely psychotic people that need help. So he would like tell people that even those type of people don't need medical help, that the psychiatrists are just keeping them from being able to go clear.
Yeah.
So there's like
It's
like kind of a
interesting.
double-edged sword, right?
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah. It's and I know last time we talked, we kind of talked about just the expression of religion, right? And how I'm a person that I'm really staunchly I don't want to say staunchly, but I'm very concrete in my beliefs, and I'm kind of like, I sort of reject mysticism, but I observe it. Like I really like and I'm curious about mysticism, but I can't ever try to explain the world how it exists in a mystical way, because it just doesn't. I'm almost to a detriment. I have to like appeal to this rational part of my mind like a scientific, like I want to know something, and if I don't know it, then if I don't know it for sure, and it's to a detriment, certainly.
Yeah, that's why I can't get too deep into any one religion, because it's like different parts of different religions I believe in, and a lot of science. But like, I still believe in some religion and some science that people would say conflicts, but I don't see why it would. Like, I don't know why science being real and factual would say that there's no God, because God could have made the science happen. You know what I mean? God could be the ultimate scientist, but people are asleep to that.
Yeah, and I get one thing that sort of embarrasses me that I almost don't want to identify as an atheist is because there are so many militant atheists who are sort of like, they're kind of assholes, and I don't want to be associated with assholes, because I'd like to think I'm a pretty accepting and pretty genuine guy. And
I know a lot of atheists that are really good people.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just another stereotype.
Yeah, I know a lot of people of a lot of different religions that are pretty great people. I mean, mostly only know Christians, because I'm a white dude that grew up in the Midwest. But yeah, I always like to think, and I always like to say this too, that if you are religious, then why wouldn't you think that, like, for example, just evolution, how does that conflict with your faith? Because to me it would seem, if I were a Christian, let's say I wouldn't, like, let's say I were a reborn Christian tomorrow, I wouldn't be able to just abandon everything that I know and just like say that evolution is a construct that we created. Like, there's nothing more beautiful than this system that the universe has created for us,
Yeah, I think that's dumb when people say that.
Yeah.
That they can't both be true.
Yeah, and you see these videos of people. I just saw this one of a lady who's trying to say that, like, fossils are fabricated, basically, which there's actually an element of truth to that. When they excavate fossils, they're not like whole fossils, because they're just degraded over time, and just pulling them out, they're really fragile, because they're just basically minerals that have reconstituted where the bone was. So you're not going to actually get like the full thing. So you have to, like, they used to just use plaster and then paint over it, but now they actually use 3D printed fragments of bone to make up for it, and they look much better. Like,
that's interesting.
Technology's really cool, man. It's awesome.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I just kind of feel bad for people like that, because they just like limit the scope of how they understand the world because of some articles of faith that they can't that they think conflicts with it.
It could be people like projecting their fears too.
Oh, absolutely. That's and that's like the most crazy conspiracy theorists. They're just fear based. That's what conspiracies kind of are.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at, is people have this like theory that dinosaur bones are fabricated, and something that kind of goes along with that is the flat earth theory, which I thought was a joke at first. Like, I legit
still do.
I can't tell, man. Like, I see all these people online that seem to genuinely believe that the world is flat, and when I first saw it, I was like, oh, these people are just trolls. Like this is hilarious. People actually believe this shit. And then I started looking, I'm like, yeah, they got to be trolls, and I just brush it off, right? And then I start seeing more and more and more of it over the past couple of years, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I think these people are fucking for real, man.
I guess I'll give it a chance and read what they have to say, because I try to be open-minded, but I don't know.
Don't open your mind up too far, please.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that one.
Well, so I'll give you the most compelling stuff to them. They think that, okay, so if you're in an airplane and you look out over the horizon, it's flat.
Yeah.
You can't perceive the curve because you're not ever far enough off the ground to actually perceive a curvature of the earth.
That and the human eye can't see that far.
Right. And light can't reflect that far either.
Yeah.
You know, well, I don't know how to explain it really, but basically, if you're in the stratosphere, you're probably not even going to be able to notice a curve. You know, like if you can see the horizon underneath the ozone layer, you're not going to be able to be at an elevation where you can see a
what do
curve.
they say about pictures from outer space? Like,
They say it's CGI.
what?
Yeah.
Dog, I can't.
Yeah, right? And they think it's all
Alright.
fabricated. But
See, that's a kind of a crazy conspiracy.
it is, man. It's far out. And I don't know. I just have this link saved in my bookmarks of the live feed of the space station. I
Yeah.
just link that every time I see it, and I'm like, dude, guys, you can like see yourself, you know, the country that you're in from this thing. Like,
Yeah, I
the
think
world
this will
isn't
be
flat.
like a funny thing to look back on in the future when.
I already thought it was. I already thought there
No,
was a
I
time
know,
where
but
we
like,
went through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I thought we were already past the time where people thought the world was flat, and that's
No,
why I
you're
thought it was a
right.
troll
It's a-
job. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I thought people like
If
got
they
over
actually
this shit.
believe that, though, I don't know.
Yeah,
It'd be funny to get all of them in a spaceship and show them from space that it's not.
I would donate to that.
For real.
I would crowdfund the shit out of that, man.
We should start a page. GoFundMe.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, of course, death is going to naturally bring us to a discussion about flat Earth.
Yeah, outer space, death.
And on that note, I think we're gonna wrap up, man. Any plugs you want to make? You got a lot of shit going on right now as far as music goes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You were saying that in the beginning
just
there.
really focused on Bottle Kids right now with my brother AP Lifted. You gotta get him in here for an interview too.
Sure, send him my way.
Super great personality. Give you a good interview.
Right on.
But yeah, follow me on all my social medias, SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram is all at Real Tyler Davis.
Right on.
Find me.
All right, I'll put notes to all that in the show notes. So, all right, thanks for coming down here, man.
Yeah,
I
thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much, man.
And that's a wrap for this week, folks. Thank you all so very much for being here with me. I'm really fired up from this bonus episode that I had this week with Gret Glyer. So, I mean, I'm really pushing the evangelism here. I'm trying to get some more listeners, and if you're new here, my goal is to have 1,000 weekly listeners by about April 2018. So, and right now we're at about a tenth of that, roughly, and that's with me going out and like posting my episodes wherever I can online. So I'm trying really hard to grow this audience, but what really grows it is just word of mouth. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you can bring up the show organically, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a name drop and let people know about it. And just in general, maybe just sharing on social media and the like. I really do appreciate it. And words can't tell you enough. Because I'm doing something that's more than just growing a show that I'm reaching out to people on the internet with. I really am trying to change the world here, not only to revitalize people's interests in independent music, but to fund these charity projects. Speaking of that, this week the charity project goes to fund 50 orphan children in Uganda who are the sort of lesser-told victims of the AIDS epidemic there. And I read for you all the stats at the beginning, but let me read them again. In Uganda, there are 1.5 million people living with HIV, with a 7.1% adult HIV prevalence. There are 83,000 new HIV infections roughly every year, and 28,000 AIDS-related deaths. And there's a 57% rate of adults on antiretroviral treatments. And the children of these people are also victims. So this charity project goes to fund shoes and school supplies for them for the upcoming school semester here. And you can find this at donorseed.com/project/750. All right, I will stop talking at your ear, but I just want to reiterate how much it does matter to me to have you all listening here every week, and you can count on me to be here with you next Thursday. So until then, as I always say, take care of yourself, and I will see you then.